thrives on knowledge and intuition. One man has consistently defied odds, challenging the status quo, pushing boundaries and guiding us into the depths of human wisdom. This man, known to us only as Ken, has been the guiding light in a labyrinth of confusion, the harbinger of discernment in an era of information overload. For years, he has ignited minds and sparked countless debates with provocative questions and thought-provoking answers on the show that redefined the way we perceive our reality, Ken's Think Tank. Season after season, Ken and his guests have unearthed truths, unraveled mysteries, and inspired us to think, question, and wonder. But all good things must come to an end. Now, the shadows of the final curtain begin to loom as we brace ourselves for the grand conclusion. The stakes have never been higher, the questions never more profound, the answers never more essential. This is the final frontier of enlightenment, the ultimate pursuit of knowledge. Get ready to embark on the last journey into the abyss of the human mind, where every episode will strike a chord, every revelation will resonate deeper than ever before. Prepare for the explosive culmination of a saga that has held us in its grasp, leaving us thirsty for more. It's not just a season, it's the end of an era. It's the final call to those who dare to challenge conventions, break out of the mold, and unravel the tapestry of existence. This is the final season of Ken's Think Tank. Dive in as the final chapter unfolds and the legacy of Ken continues to inspire, question, and ignite thought. One last time, let's tank up our minds and think. Okay, let's lighten it up a bit. That was a bit dramatic. Yes, this is the last season of Ken's Think Tank. This project began as an idea, an old GoPro camera and a headphone boom mic taped to the roof of my truck. It quickly evolved into a full production with a lot of really cool guests. But the world keeps spinning and changing, and we must change with it. Ken Collins Marketing, the parent company to Ken's Think Tank, has outgrown the show. While it has been one of the most fun things I've ever done, after 7 years, it's time to end on a high note. This is one of the 10 final episodes. I've reached back through my collection and pulled out 10 episodes to feature in no particular order. Can you guess who will be featured in our final episode when the series ends in late October? Comment below and let me know your guess. Next up, from Season 5, Episode 2, D.D. Seaton. I've filmed most of my episodes in and around Farmington, but I've also filmed in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Cottonwood, Arizona, Clayton, North Carolina, and Danny in Denver, Colorado. He's a former musician, an artist, and a chef who's now knocking the socks off the Denver Country Club crowd with his culinary creations. Enjoy! Way back in the 80s, 4 guys in Farmington got together and formed a band called Burgundy. They moved the band to Denver, gained a following, and renamed themselves Men Are Monsters. They later renamed themselves again to the Good Sirs. One of those guys is my next guest. D.D. Seaton is a former musician turned current artist and chef. While he's no longer performing in a band, today he's a force to be reckoned with in the Arts District in downtown Denver, and in the kitchen where he works as a chef during the day. Spend an hour with Danny, buy him a beer, and talk philosophy or spirituality with him. He'll fill your mind with ideas. Get him on a rant and he'll fill your belly with laughter. Get him to cook for you and he'll fill your senses with delights. Get him to play a guitar and he'll fill your ears with great music. Become his friend and he'll fill your soul with camaraderie. I'm on the way to pick up Danny or Dee Dee, and I might be driving, but I know I'm in for a ride. I have his art hanging in my house. I'm privileged to sit at his Thanksgiving spread each year, and I only have 2 regrets. One is that I'm getting lost on the way to his Denver studio. The other is I don't have enough time in one episode to get all of his stories in. But I'm going to give it my best shot. Want to see how it goes?
Come along for the ride in Ken's Think Tank.
So should I kind of explain what the art district is all about here?
So we just picked you up from 910 Arts. That's where your studio is.
That is where my studio is, yes. And
it's in the arts district in Denver. And so explain the arts district. What's going on there?
So basically, I have a studio inside of a gallery that's inside of an art building that's in the art district. So it's art everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere's art. Basically, it's a big concentration of, in the art district, it's a concentration of like a lot of galleries and studios and vendors and artsy things, you know, little cool restaurants and stuff, and it makes for a huge art walk, like one of the best in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, lots of people come out for this thing.
And so they do that every Friday? It's called First Friday, is that what it is?
The first Friday of every month.
Right.
And they do third Friday too, but it's not quite as popular as first Friday. There are months where I seriously have like 1,000 people come through my studio.
Right.
And that's like every month, you know, even in like winter when there's blizzards and stuff. People love this stuff, you know.
So 1,000 people on a single Friday.
Oh yeah.
Running through there.
Oh yeah.
Man.
And so you get to meet and greet all of them, and it's a blast, you know, it's a lot of fun.
Do they have musicians and things like that?
Well, I mean, I'll have musicians, you know, like if I do shows, I'll have musicians play, or they'll like hang out in the gallery, and there's all kinds of weird stuff going on, you know. You'll see like parades of people like dressed like bunnies and stuff. It's ridiculous. But yeah, you'll see musicians on the street, you know, little people in costumes, you know, just artsy people having a blast, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Have you ever been to one of them?
No.
Not once, huh? Yeah.
No, I you know, with some help, created the art walks in Farmington, but they don't come close to comparing. Of course, it's Denver, and we don't have an arts district specifically, but
well, you kind of have an artsy scene down there.
Yeah. I mean,
I remember that show I did down there was pretty cool.
When did you realize you were an artist?
That is a good question, because I think it was like after 10-15 years of painting. Honestly, I'd been doing it for a long time, and it like kind of dawned on me one day. It's like, oh, that's why I'm so strange, you know? Because I mean, seriously, I painted for, I'm not even kidding, like 10 years before I even told anybody that I even did it.
Yeah.
It was just something that I just did because I was kind of like digging into myself, you know, and having fun. I didn't really expect anything out of it, right?
Right.
Which is kind of the way you should do it, actually. Yeah. But and then one day, I bought a digital camera.
Okay.
And like the only thing I really had to take pictures of was my artwork. So I took a bunch of pictures of these paintings I'd been doing. You know, they're all like in my bedroom. They're like all over the walls and everything. I start showing them to people, right? And I'm like, here, check this out. I like making these paintings, and I'm expecting to hear stuff like, wow, that's really cool. Man, you should keep that up or something, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I was expecting to hear. And I'm showing it to them, and people are like, why do you work here? What are you doing? You know, they're like saying, go to Artistville and sell paintings, you know? It's like, you know, that's, and I heard it over and over and over, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? And honestly, they were pretty terrible paintings at the time, you know?
It was kind of a hobby, like just...
Oh, it was just something I did
exploring your brain and
yeah. I mean, I was a musician for a long time, and then but when you're a kid and you're like learning to play the guitar, of course you're like looking for like those fast licks and all this stuff, and eventually you grow up and you want to do something that's like kind of meaningful, and you're like looking for some creativity and stuff, and that's whenever I started to like draw and paint and I would meditate, and you know, I'm kind of looking for like the other side of the, you know, the real stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I went from being a musician, like a shredder, I'm like playing fast licks and stuff when I was a kid, like loud and to like kind of actually thinking about what I'm doing.
Right. figuring out different ways to express yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to be creative rather than just practiced, you know?
Right. So, yeah, you were a musician. You started a band. You guys started that in Farmington? You're originally from
Farmington, New Mexico, yes.
And so did you guys start that in Farmington?
Oh, yes, very young, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
We were a band, like, very, very young. My first band, I mean, we were playing together since we were kids, right?
Right.
I mean, in Farmington at that time, we're talking, I mean, there was, like, one, like, country bar.
Yeah.
What is the name of that bar?
Top Deck.
Yeah, Top Deck.
Yeah.
Where everybody would go and, you know, they would dress like Brooks and Dunn and stuff. They were the rage at the time, you know.
Right.
Remember that? And yeah, and that's like the only bar in town that you could play music in. And so we came up here just so we could play, you know, a real club, and they did. They had like real rock clubs.
Right.
I mean, and it was like super exciting because we would like get on these huge PA systems, right? I mean, like stacks of speakers, and it's like so exciting to like hit a chord on your guitar and it just like bam! It's like so loud. It's like, man, it makes you feel like a rock star, right? And of course, when we first started out, it was like, you know, we're playing like weekday. We're playing a Monday night at some bar, you know, and eventually. Well, actually, pretty quickly, we were playing weekend nights, and we like started getting a following, and started, you know, writing music. You know, that's where the whole like creativity things comes in. You know, whenever you're not just playing licks on a guitar, but you like have to actually like write songs, and you know, and build a following, and you know, we're just learning all these things, baby steps. You know.
So you started off kind of covering stuff, and then you started writing your own stuff?
No, I mean we never really did covers.
Really? You started right off.
No,
with
we
doing your
were
own stuff?
writing songs when we were like young.
Dude.
Young.
Nice.
And the scene up here, like I mean, it wasn't a cool thing to be in a cover band.
Right.
You wrote songs.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was just what was cool, you know. And there was a cool scene too. I mean, it was like this real like charismatic rock scene, you know. We come up here the summer before my senior year in high school, and we saw these bands that were just like kick ass, you know. We're like totally inspired by them, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, cover bands like that's like, I mean, of course we did a few covers. We played some, you know, every once in a while throw on a cover just for fun. But like when we played a club, it was original music.
Right.
Yeah. I mean. Because when we were in Farmington, it was, I mean, we had a practice space out on my grandma's farm. I mean, there was literally like cattle outside. We were playing for cows. We were. I mean,
they're kind of a boring audience, guys.
So, yeah, I mean, you stop a song and it's silence, maybe a little moo here and there, but yeah, it was so exciting for us, you know. And then, like, we're headed down here too. We somehow got this practice space down here, and it was like the best practice space in the city.
Yeah.
I mean, it was huge. It had a little stage in it.
Yeah.
I mean, we had like concerts down there.
It was a big building,
right? Yeah. Well, it's right up here. I'll show it to you. I mean, a big building, and it was full of bands.
Yeah.
So it used to be a yogurt factory, right?
Okay.
So. And then, of course, all these rooms emptied out over the years, and they started renting them out to bands. So, like, you know, make a little money off it or whatever. And for years and years, there was like, I don't know, 11, 12 bands and all kinds of bands, like rock bands, alternative bands, all, you know, even cover bands, like all of that. But, I mean, some of the best nights is when these bands didn't have a gig.
Right.
Because everybody was there, hanging out there.
Yeah.
And we would like buy some kegs. And this is like before the whole craft beer thing happened, right? So we would buy these kegs of like pretty terrible beer, charge people like $5 a head so they could drink off the keg all night long.
Right.
But yeah, we would make lots of money, and people could go from room to room.
Yeah.
Watching all kinds of bands.
Nice.
And then we would wait till everybody was like nice and lit up, and we would be up in our awesome space at the top of the building,
right?
Start our show, and I mean, everybody in the building would come up.
You were in the penthouse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's basically yes.
And so, what is that building now?
It's Great Divide Brewing.
Okay.
Is what it is. They moved in when we were practicing there, and nobody knew who they were. And of course, they're like one of the biggest brewers around right now. Yeah. You can't go to a liquor store without seeing some Great Divide Brewing in it.
If you're a beer connoisseur in Denver, you'll know Great Divide Brewing.
Oh, yeah.
You'll know where that building is.
Oh, yeah.
So, did you start painting while you were in Farmington, or when you moved up here?
No, in that same building I'm talking about. That was the first time I ever set up an easel,
right,
and put paint on it.
Really?
Was in this practice space.
Right.
And because I mean, I was a musician, kind of looking for something else, right? I was looking for that something. I don't know what you call it. Just that creativity is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I seriously practiced my guitar when I was a kid to the point that I was like, I mean, flying all over the neck, and it's like, there's got to be something more to it, you know. There's got to be more, and I did. I looked for it and I found it, you know.
You guys put out a couple of albums.
Oh yeah.
With the band.
Oh yeah.
So, in that, people can find that. Can they find that music online?
Sure. Like on SoundCloud. Okay. There's Men Are Monsters or the Good Sirs, or
Sweet.
Yeah. I listen to them all the time. Yeah. But and as a matter of fact, the artwork on the cover of this album was the picture of this building we're headed to.
Okay. When did you sell your first painting?
I probably sold my first painting. I mean, the year I have no idea. It was a long time ago, but I would sell paintings for like $50.
Yeah.
Just here. You want it? Take it. You know.
Right.
It was exciting. You know.
Right.
I remember the first big painting I ever sold.
Yeah.
I was like jumping around like I'd won the lottery. It felt so good.
Yeah.
Remember our old dog Sadie?
Yeah.
She was like, I sold this painting to this guy, and he took it out of the room, and I started jumping around. I'm like, yes. And Sadie's looking at me like, what is going on with you?
What is wrong with you?
I was so excited. I felt like I had won the lottery. It just like...
Yeah. Do you remember when you first set up in a studio?
Well, the first time I ever like broke out an easel was at this loft at 19th and Arapahoe. And, you know, I sat down. I just remember it feeling like really comfortable. You know, it's like... It just felt right, you know, and that was kind of my first studio. It's basically it was the practice space for our band, but I mean, I had a little corner set up where I could paint and stuff. I painted in a garage that was like so cold that I would have to like dress in layers. I can't believe I did this. I did it for years, as a matter of fact.
Right.
I painted in a garage where I would just like have to like. I put on like 3 pairs of sweatpants and like stood next to a propane heater in the winter, bucket of gesso, put it on a stove and put it on a low flame, and like thawed it out like a soup so that I could prep a canvas. Right. I was like so dedicated for some reason. It was ridiculous. I can't believe. I look back on that. It's like, I can't believe I did stuff like that.
You were having shows. You were exhibiting while you were still there, while you were painting there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I started showing my paintings in like, little shows, coffee shops. But like the first like real show I got into in a real gallery, I had this cool painting of Brigitte Bardot, right?
Yeah.
I remember, I mean, I was like set on getting into this gallery. It was like, they're juried shows. You gotta submit your paintings, and then someone says, yay or nay, you know?
Right.
And I had never done that before. So I submit this painting. I submitted 2 paintings, and one of them they were like, nope. But
yeah.
And I was so bummed because I got rejected from the show. I wanted it so bad. I mean, I even went out and bought a suit to like go to the reception and stuff.
Right.
But I'm sitting there, my phone is sitting on the coffee table, and it was like buzzing. Bzz, 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 and I'm like depressed as shit because I thought these guys had rejected me.
Oh.
So I checked, and it was like I had a message, and so I checked my messages, and it's Pirate Gallery over here, and I got into my very first gallery.
Nice.
Yeah, it was.
That's awesome.
That was a great feeling.
Explain what happened with Willie.
This Willie Nelson painting I had was kind of like my big hit, and I decided I'm going to take a little canvas this big, it was like 16 by 24, I forget the dimensions, and I'm like, I'm going to spend like 2 weeks on this painting, and I ended up spending like 2 days on it. But you know, that was just like one of my. It was like just a really good painting. And I was like so proud of this painting, you know. But I had it sitting in my studio for like years and years, and with like NFS, a little tag on there. It means not for sale.
Yeah.
It's like, because I don't want to part with my buddy, you know.
Right.
But this guy walks in one night, and he's like, "Why isn't this for sale?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. Everything's for sale for a certain price, you know." But you know, he was like, "Well, I worked for Willie Nelson."
Yeah.
He's like, I'm the CEO of his hemp company, and if you're willing to part with this, I'll buy it from you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I guess so. Cool. And he gave me a good price, and then he starts showing me pictures of Willie Nelson at his birthday party and stuff. You know, he's hanging out with him, and
nice.
So yeah, that was just a really good night.
So was he was planning on giving that to Willie as like a birthday present or something?
Yeah, he would. I remember saying, "Oh yeah, he's gonna love this. He's gonna love this." You know, I painted a portrait of Willie Nelson, and then Willie Nelson's gonna see it. That was like the last thing I had imagined whenever I was painting that thing. You know.
Besides being an artist, you're also a chef.
Yeah. I love cooking.
So how does that happen? How do you be a musician and a visual artist and a chef all at the same time? They're all a form of art, but normally people pick one.
Friends of mine write me. It's like, "Man, you made the best soup. Can you write down that recipe for me?" It's like, don't you understand that I am the recipe? I don't. There's no recipe. It's just me and my heart and my soup. You know, that's all there is to it.
You should just send them a selfie. So what's next for you?
Good question.
You're kind of covering a lot of bases. Of course, more art, right?
Oh, of course, more art. That's something I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Yeah. I've just decided. I've painted and I've not painted, and I'm just a much more happier person when I'm painting.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, the more I dig in there and like challenge myself and just release all that. It feels like I'm pulling weeds out of myself when I paint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm cleaning this like garden inside myself. You know.
Right. There are a lot of thoughts and feelings displayed in a lot of your paintings.
Yeah, it's stuff that can't be expressed with words, basically, you know.
Right.
And it's expression. It's just, like sometimes you'll see in the movies someone like up at a canvas and they're like throwing paint on the canvas and they're like crying and stuff. That's how it feels sometimes.
Yeah.
I've never actually like wept while I'm making a painting, but
crying
that's what it feels
inside.
like sometimes. Yeah.
Oh man.
So, it's just like letting it all out, you know. Yeah. You got it. It's like you're screaming or something, you know.
Right.
That's what it feels like.
Do you have a favorite? I don't like to use the word favorite painting, but like a painting that means more to you than, for whatever reason, than maybe some other?
So I have this one piece. I don't know why. Because whenever I first started out, I was like looking for like this sense of style, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to. I'm like looking for this unique brand, you know. And I have a painting called Ernk, E-R-N-K.
Right.
Do you know which painting I'm talking about?
Yeah, I have a print of it.
Do you? Oh, that's right. You have a little print of it. Cool. Yeah, cool beans, man.
Yeah.
Nice. But for like years and years, I felt like this painting described this style I was going for, and it has like that real guttural pull, you know. It has like and as a matter of fact, the Ernk part is like, that's literally like this. It was supposed to be like this guttural sound, like it's like just like this roar from inside, you know.
Yeah.
But it was in like the museum in Farmington. It was in the newspaper. It was in the Best of the Art District show. It was in like just all these awesome shows, you know.
Yeah.
And one night this guy comes in and he's like, "I want to buy this painting." I'm like, "Nope." That's my baby. You're not taking it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I want to buy this one and this one." And he pulls out a big old wad of cash, and it's like, I mean, this is after years and years of showing this piece. It's like, man, at some point you've got to like kind of let go.
Yeah. You got to raise the child and send them out in the world.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if it's my favorite, but that's the one that kind of it was hard letting go of that one.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
Along with Willie too, it was hard letting go of him too, even though it was like one of the best nights of my life.
That's
an
amazing painting, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know what? Which one I really like right now, currently, because I like a bunch of them for different reasons, but freckles. Something about freckles, man. I love it.
Really?
Yeah. I have a thing for like redheaded women with freckles, and that just draws me every time. I can't stop looking at it and looking through stuff, and I'm like, oh, there she is again. Well, dude, thanks for coming on the show with me, man.
Right on. Thanks for having me. That's nice. Yeah.
Thanks for allowing me to get us completely lost somewhere in Denver.
Thanks for getting us stuck in traffic. I needed some more of that in my life.
That's what I'm here for.
Ken's Think Tank is made possible with help from these fine sponsors. Basin Home Health and Hospice, keeping you healthy, happy, and home since 1992. Durango Joe's, with a smile, a warm greeting, and a great cup of coffee. Farmington RV Sales and Service, serving the Four Corners since 1959.